Horchata!
So I'm really hoping you're not planning on throwing a Pokemon-themed birthday party, a Nintendo-themed wedding, a Mario-themed gymnasium, anything. Don't do anything that shows you have any slight interest in Nintendo products. The only interest you are allowed to show in Nintendo is by buying everything they sell you. That's it. That's the only thing you are allowed to do. Why? Well, because a lot of fans over the years have found out the hard way that you're not supposed to give Nintendo more than just money.
I just wish people were allowed to have a little bit of fun without Nintendo swooping in every single time. I don't know why you're so offended by someone making a stupid first-person shooter with Pokemon.
With Pokemon, which is a children's property?
That millions of adults play.
Don't care. It's a children's property. That's how it started.
Okay.
The millions of adults started as children.
It's extremely prude.
It's still marketed to... What's that?
It's extremely prude and weird that you would get, offended by it.
Your loyalty, your love, your passion for them, they need to be discarded. I mean, it's honestly for the best anyway. Man-children growing up thinking Nintendo's the best thing in the world is very unhealthy. It's led to some of the worst consumer practices imaginable. And while yes, I understand Nintendo fans aren't solely to blame for the current state of the industry, they share a huge responsibility. Nintendo is drunk with power, and that's all thanks to their biggest moneymaker, Pokemon.
McDonald's was having a special promotion in Japan where if you buy a Happy Meal, you get a free pack of Pokemon cards. But the scalpers went crazy and bought up all the Happy Meals and didn't even eat the food just to get the cards. Look, here they are on eBay. One pack is $28 and they already sold 2,500 packs. And now McDonald's had to end the promotion early because they just couldn't keep up with the demand.
If you were ever concerned that they're not making enough money, you need to shut your fucking mouth. Any single time you see people emulating or pirating Nintendo games and you try to make it any of your business, you are a moron. Plain and simple. I'm right, you're wrong.
That makes me want to subscribe. How lucky for me.
Hoyoverse's latest Honkai title is a monster-raising auto chess style game. Honkai Nexus Anima has been officially announced. An IP consultant claims that Hoyoverse's game infringes on Nintendo's mount patent from the Palworld lawsuit. Oh God, here we go again. Never feel bad for billion-dollar Nintendo. Especially never feel bad for the Pokemon Company. Why anybody took the side of them over Palworld is beyond me. Remember when they began their lawsuit against Pocket Pair Company not too long ago? Remember how I said it would set a bad precedent for future lawsuits and it would cause a lot of gaming companies and billion-dollar franchises to start thinking, perhaps there's a potential lawsuit for me here. Because the Pokemon Company is too big to fail, they have zero reasons to be innovating right now. All the innovation is happening through copycats. Granted, the copycats are a lot better than the actual products, and Pokemon Company is the one to blame for all of that. Ever since Nintendo and the Pokemon Company first announced the patent infringement lawsuit against Palworld maker Pocket Pair, people have been worried about the broader implications of the case. According to IP consultant Florian Muller, who has been covering the lawsuit extensively at GamesFray, Hoyoverse's upcoming open-world creature collecting game Honkai Nexus Anima appears to fall within the scope of one of Nintendo's patents Palworld is accused of infringing. Now here's the interesting part. How in the hell can we be sure Nintendo isn't going to come after this game?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
Now comes the more interesting part. If they don't go after the game, that would mean that they intentionally went after Palworld because they were indeed jealous and envious of its success. Palworld is far from the only monster taming game that is eerily similar to Pokemon. For this reason, I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen Temtem get hit with a lawsuit or outright be shut down, as the similarities there are even more offensive. With the title like this, which I've been watching the trailer over and over again, I can see exactly what Nintendo would attempt to target. The thing is, if it's not selling over 20 million copies, I don't think they're gonna even bother. The game, as I can see so far, will only ever get their attention if its concurrent player count is over 2 million, like Palworld was. Then Nintendo will pay attention. However, what bothers me here is the one thing that I was concerned about the whole time, and that is Nintendo's patent lawsuit, opening the floodgates to more potential lawsuits. Nintendo and Pokemon Company seem to think that they own a specific mechanic that they've had to change the definition of more than once in their lawsuit against Pocket Pair. They can't narrow it down specifically. The patent in question is the recently amended mounting of flying objects, patent JP7528390. This patent originally focused on the ability of players to smoothly switch between different mountable creatures in-game. Early in litigation, a Japanese patent attorney noted that the seamless bit described by Nintendo didn't apply to Palworld's glider PAL mechanics, and thus judged that there was no infringement. Moreover, Pocket Pair made swift moves to remove the ability to glide on PALs from the game. But after Nintendo amended the patent mid-case, it came to broadly cover any scenario in which a player summons and mounts rideable flying creature, which is arguably a basic mechanic that can be seen in many games, one such example being Honkai, Nexus, Anima. That's right, you see the characters doing exactly what Nintendo is suing Palworld over. Yet this developer doesn't show a single bit of concern over Nintendo possibly going after them. And again, that could all be due entirely to the success of Palworld. If this game here somehow manages to shoot past 10 million sales, then Nintendo's probably going to come after them thinking they deserve a cut of that pie, thinking that they invented this and anybody who makes something similar owes them money. Because that's the way this scummy ass company works, using legal authority to shut down competition. On August 29th, Hoyoverse released preview footage of Nexus Anima's gameplay. The video shows the player riding both ground-based and flying creatures within the first 30 seconds. Based on the video, Moeller says Nexus Anima clearly infringes the Nintendo patent, and that this infringement demonstrates how much the patent overreaches. He's damn right it overreaches. Well, just because you can mount on a creature you summoned, Nintendo thinks you owe them fucking money, or they believe your game should be shut down, or they force developers to update their games so that players can no longer do that. And why Pokemon fans continue to throw money at this company so that they can bully other developers around, I have no clue. It just doesn't matter to them. It is so basic that it cannot be right to prohibit all other game makers from implementing it. He comments, well, I'm glad we agree on that. It's important to note that this does not mean Nintendo will take legal action against Hoyoverse, and the outcome of their litigation with Pocket Pair still remains to be seen. Indeed. But as I said in many other videos, it's setting a precedent. If this game gets away with doing this, which Monster Hunter has gotten away with, which plenty of other games have gotten away with, that will indeed prove Nintendo is being malicious, which is not surprising to the average gamer, but to Nintendo diehard fanboys, they couldn't possibly imagine Nintendo has ill intent, thinking, oh no, Nintendo's just protecting their intellectual property. They have to. When Pokemon, as we speak, has nothing to worry about, absolutely nothing. There isn't a single thing Pokemon can do wrong, as its endless success has proven. Pokemon Company could shoot someone in the center of town in front of everyone, and that's not going to stop people from buying it. As we saw in Japan, how they trashed their city, and that type of consumerism was defined as a frenzy, which I would say is completely accurate. Pokemon fans are on a frenzy. They are vicious, greedy, and obsessive. And that's because competition is weak. There's nothing else to stand in Pokemon's way, and it's created a very lazy and entitled company who truly believes that mounting the creatures that you capture, that's their thing. You're not allowed to do it. When Pokemon has had such a lack of competition that it's led to a consumer base who lacks the desire to find something better, it worsens the brand. Just take a look at how shitty Pokemon Legends ZA looks. It's hard to imagine that that is coming out of the richest intellectual property on Earth, but it is. And that's because of the complacency of this consumer base. The fact that Nexus Anima looks a million times better and it's not even being produced by such an ultra-rich company, is a slap to the face of every Pokemon fan. It's an even bigger slap in the face when you realize that they would much rather bully these game devs into not even trying to make something better, and instead have you, the consumer, rely on the diarrhea that fucking drips out of their anal cavity, because that's the best that they're willing to give you, while everybody else is trying their absolute hardest to create something that Pokemon fans truly deserve. And Pokemon's fans' reaction to that is sue them into oblivion. Fuck them. Now give me my McDonald's Pokemon card so I can trash all of Japan. But it is a good thing to see that game devs are not scared. We saw Palworld did not give two shits. They pushed back and they said, fuck you, Nintendo. We're gonna make our own trading card game. Nexus Anima saw everything going on between Palworld and Nintendo and said, who gives a shit? We're still gonna make our own Pokemon-like game. Suck my dick. And that is the right energy and the right attitude to have. Fuck Nintendo. Fuck Pokemon. The fact that these devs are not scared and instead are going to make as many clones of Palworld and Pokemon as possible is hilarious. Because you know Nintendo cannot seek litigation after every single one of them. It's impossible. And that is the right strategy. Every dev should be fighting back against this company. Put out your game. Have it look as close to Pokemon as possible and see if Nintendo takes the bait. Every gamer out there knows Pokemon is in the wrong. They know Nintendo is in the wrong. But most importantly, they know the company is complacent. And they've been dealing with a very complacent company for far too long. They may be the richest intellectual property on Earth, but the fact that a couple of indie devs are not scared? Well, maybe it's just pure hopium for me and I'm huffing too hard on it, but seeing this company get knocked down a peg or two and be humiliated the way they are right now gives me a raging boner. Yeah, maybe it's not the most productive or healthy thing to be doing, but when I see what Pokemon does to grown-ass men, I pray for moments like this. And you should too. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to on the road to 200,000. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.
Fritonga sucks ass.